الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
يوم من الأيام قرر أبوي يرشح حاله الانتخابات البلدية، بس ما حدا خد على باله. بس المرة كان الحكي جدي.
أول شيء مرات تسيب لي كل الأسئلة وبعدين
دراسة زي ما شوف ما في أسئلة.
مراد عزوفتي أخشوني عزفني
عزفني على ما
لا عزوف إيش لي نتكلم كم دورين لا أخشب لازم نشيل رأي
متأكد بس كم
لا تسيل كده أخشبني عزفني عزوف.
بعد ما أبوي طردني من المتين رحت أحكي مع عمي، كنت حابب أعرف شو رأيها في قرار أبوي اللي غير حياتنا. هو بيقول عن أبوي أوباما، تعرف منه أوباما؟
بعرف. مرشح حالي لرئيس، بدي يصير رئيس أمريكا. مرشح حالي يعني أول سوى انتخابات ونجح فيها، وإن شاء الله بينجح كمان هو ونصر مع بعضهم.
Your film deals with the life of Bedouins in Israel. It's a subject that Israelis know a lot more about than Europeans. Was the film made for universal audience, or is it meant for Israelis? Will European audiences get it instantly?
This film, you say Israelis not a lot of about Bedouins, but actually not regarding European audience, which we'll reach in a minute. Jewish Israelis know almost nothing about Bedouins, really. They only know the stereotypes. They know what they are supposed to think about them. They think they live in the desert, and they ride on camels, and they make coffee, and they break into houses, and they're like outlaws and such. But it's all stereotypes. And this film, in a way, shows the Israeli audience at first that Bedouin society is not something monolithic. It has many colors and many different problems, and it has people on one hand who take their kids out from school and stop their studies, and on the other hand you have people who send their daughters to Germany to study medicine. So it shows an array of characters, and that's what's important about it. For a universal crowd, it has an advantage of the use of archive materials which allow people to understand what Bedouins really are, because I'm not sure that people here know what Bedouins are. There's a very stereotypic way with the kafia and the abaya and all that, but people don't know who is a Bedouin, what is a Bedouin, what is an Arab, what is a Muslim. Even here people have very vague notions, and at least about the situation of Bedouins in Israel since 1948, this film gives a very good coverage of that issue too. So the universal Bedouin directors, each one of them bought the story he wanted to portray, the story he wanted to tell. Personal and the personal, I hope, come together as one.
Now, Bedouins are in a special position because Bedouins are part of Israeli society and they're a part of Palestinian society, and they've achieved more equality than other minorities in those societies. There's a political element here. How did you handle it in your film?
Well, first of all, for this film, each director, it was made out of 4 short films by 4. So the stories are not political in the sense that is political, it doesn't talk about land rights. It doesn't talk about house and demolishing. It talks about personal things that are also political. It talks about the meaning of being illiterate. It talks about girls taking, women taking their girls out of school. It talks about elections. It talks about the fact that Bedouins don't have swimming pools in Israel. but it's political in the sense of the making, because the making of this film by Bedouin directors in the Negev who are giving a chance to let out their voice, that's political. So in that way the film is political. But every director chose to tell his specific story, which most of the times with a personal touch.
Why back and forth? It gives the name of your film is Back and Forth. It gives a feeling of going nowhere.
That's right. I mean, in some ways, it's back and forth for a couple of reasons. First of all, in Hebrew, the name is Arba Siporim Negev, 4 stories from the Negev, which will say anything to people out of Israel, or what is the Negev, etc. And here, also the film is made out of archive material and contemporary shots and films by the Bedouin directors. And we wanted to show the difference between the very patronic colonialistic way which Bedouins were portrayed in the 70s and the 60s in Israeli television, and the way they portray themselves. And also Bedouin society is caught between the history, the background, and the will and the hope to go forward. So it's back and forth, as you said, it's going back and forth.
What sort of reactions did you receive from Bedouins in Israel to this?
It depends. Women tend to accept the film and identify with it very much. Men have problems. I had 2 screenings last week to large Bedouin crowds in the south of Israel, in Beersheba, and it was interesting because a minority that is under some kinds of oppressions and difficulties, it's very hard for them to see a film which criticizes themselves. They're not in the stature that Jewish people in Israel have. They're strong, they're founded, the Bedouin society is a society in crisis. So for them, it was a bit hard to accept the inner criticisms that the girls chose to let out and show.
Are women marching toward progress in the Bedouin society, or are they remaining more or less the same place they were 20 years ago?
It's a hard question because, as I said, Bedouin society is many colors, but on one hand, there is an understanding that education is important and women have to go forward, but women are supposed by their families to study being a teacher or to study something that can immediately return a salary home. They are not free to express their interest and study anything. On the other hand, you can see things that were rare 20 years ago, like bigamy, which are now very, very, you can find them easily. And that's strange. So the situation is varied, and it's very hard to put down the finger and say, are they going forward or backwards? In some senses they're going forward, in some senses they are going backwards. And it's their responsibility, also the country's responsibility and consequences. So it's a hard question to really understand.
Do they feel, despite all the problems, do they feel a part of Israeli society?
Unfortunately, less and less. Unfortunately, less and less. Because it's a impoverished society. People are very poor. And they see their neighbors, they see how they live. And they see the chances they have. And they see the way they are treated against the way Jews are. So for that fact, and also the tension between Jews and Bedouins is growing in the Negev Desert. Because people are poor, live in impoverished, so they steal, they break in. And the people who suffer from that are the wealthy Jews who live next to them. And then, you have a situation that they get mad about them. It's understandable, but there's a very big tension now between Bedouins and Jews in the Negev. And it's unfortunate, because I think both of these people would have chosen to live peacefully and have, equality.
Thank you for bringing this film to us.
Okay, thank you very much.